Hey people, this reading will be from my book, Boss Lady, Advanced Programming Topics for the Intermediate Level Professional by Amy Moore. Okay, illustrating p-values, chi-square. So this section is going to talk about chi-square and, generally speaking, when you do a report, it could be a publication, it could be for your scholarly projects or what have you. There's certain things that go into the tables. So data reporting for categorical data always includes columns for frequency and percentages and p-values. An example of a statistical method for phenomenal ordinal data is the chi-square test, a measure of the association between variables. Table 3.4 shows the essential elements for a report on the Pearson's chi-square test. It is not enough to report the test statistic for a chi-square test. Employers and decision makers will include the counts and percentages as supporting documentation. It is favorable to be as transparent as possible during the data reporting stage. Okay, so you look at this table, right? It's not enough to have just the counts. It's favorable to have the percentages so that you could speak relatively about how much is in each cell, right? So you could see from here that you have a lot of males that are not treated. You have 81.8% males that are not treated, right? Okay, and only 18.2% that are treated. The chi-square test is not devised to just look at percentages. You also want to include the p-value, which will tell you if there is an association between the two variables in your table. So you see there, you have the Pearson's chi-square test that has a p-value of 0.046, but your chi-square statistic should also be in the table. And I'm going to tell you why that's important, because if you don't include the test statistic where appropriate, because there are tests where you do not include the test statistic, but if you have a test statistic to include, it's telling the reader that yes, they did a chi-square test. Like these tables and figures in your report should stand alone. Okay? So this is just a quick reading from this book, Boss Lady. Thank you for listening.